And welcome back. Today we are going to have a look at the 121B Monkey King, or how I like to call it, the FOMO King, because this tank is literally once again Wargaming's try to make you fear of missing out. I would like to reiterate that, for example, Awesome Epic Guys already chatted about that topic, and I 100% agree that lately Wargaming really does try to make certain things artificially sacred or rare. It is with the line, which was a massive grave for resources. It is now with the 121B Ape King. The 121B Ape King, as it already says, it is a 1-to-1. It used to be a Clan Wars reward tank until later down the road it became a War Bond shop tank. You can still get it in Clan Wars, but you're kind of a bozo if you would do that, because in the end you kind of want to do it somewhere else. You know, you kind of want to use it on tanks which are not readily available for 15,000 bonds. But yeah, you can get the FOMO King right now also for 20 million credits. So far, and I've looked, we still have I think like 6 hours or 9 hours left to go with the auction, and there is yet to be a competitive bid, meaning that there have not been enough bids whatsoever. Which is also understandable. Again, it is a carbon copy of the 1-to-1. However, I do want to point out, if you do not have the 1-to-1, and you don't mind the absolutely horrendous skin, which we luckily don't need to see in the gameplay, because for some reason there was a little oopsie by Wargaming and they weren't able to credit us the skin, which means it didn't really work for us producing the content. That's why we will see it right now as the naked 1-to-1B. And yes, it does look better like that, because seriously, the skin is... And apparently it's not going to be the only tank which you're going to see. Apparently there's also going to be a Progetto, which is called the Mars, and my goodness, it is absolutely ugly as well. But yeah, again, if you do not have the 1-to-1B yet, and if you don't have any competitive currency like the bonds, which you need for that tank, like 15,000 bonds, I have to say, you know what? 20 million credits might actually be a decent deal. You know why? Because getting 20 million credits is a lot easier than getting 15,000 bonds, in my opinion, or getting into the top 10,000, at least on the EU server, in a Clan Wars campaign. And then again, why would you take a tank you can get for bonds when you can just take, for example, the new and amazing 116 F3, which has apparently insane armor but god-awful gun handling? Yeah, this tank is, what should we say, boring. It's very boring. It is a good tank, don't get me wrong. Like, honest to God, the 1-to-1B is a fun and great medium tank. Great DPM, great gun handling, great accuracy, great rounds. You have an APCR heat combo with the heat having 350mm of penetration. We have the improved upper front plate armor of the normal 1-to-1. It has amazing view range. It has good mobility. Like, it is a box standard great medium tank. The only things which are really annoying about this tank is it tends to burn quite a bit because of what obviously it does. It's a Chinese or aka Russian tank, you know, and it doesn't have gun oppression. That's about it. But other than that, it's a good tank. I'm personally not going to get it because I already have the 1-to-1B. I don't need to waste 20 million credits, which I can use for something else, maybe like a later thing. But I have to be honest, why? Like, why? The one thing which I also really do like about the 1-to-1B is its great hash. You could see we used it just right there on the FV. However, you will also see it being used in the next game very soon. But right now we are just going to finish up the Jack Panzer E100 as I am finishing up my thoughts and processes about this tank, while I get one more shot into the E50M through the upper front plate. And the next game we are going to have on Ghost Town. Luckily, it is not going to be an attack or defense game or an encounter game, because those game modes actually completely suck, in my opinion, on Ghost Town. So yeah, we are lucky enough that we have a normal game mode. And in this game I can just show you the strengths of this tank, really. I do want to say, right now we are driving towards the medium side and medium flank, and I have to say I'm driving quite poorly. So for example, if the enemy's Manticore decided to go on to our side, he would have punished me quite a bit, especially with the positioning of the Gorilla 15. But with our decent camo, with the massive fuel range we have, and intuition, we can just reload into hash, bonk the Gorilla 15 for 517 rounds, and because the Gorilla 15 is totally and mostly aggro tank, he completely misses us and bounces off our rounded turret. Rounded like my belly, you know, it's chubby. But it doesn't, like, honestly, don't really trust on the turret armor. It is okay, but it's not like anything which I have to say, oh my god, it's literally Chieftain 2.0. Now, the Object 268 version 4 has a fairly weird position. The same goes for our Gorilla 15, Centurion Action X, and 60TP. Jokes aside, the 60TP is very weird. The TDs, they are TDs, they're triangles. You know how triangles work. They love to camp in one position the whole game long. Thanks, Keyhand. So yeah, we are just trying to finish off this 268 version 4. You might ask yourself, but Raging, you're alone. Aren't you insanely aggressive in that position? You're correct. But again, as already mentioned, we have quite a lot of TD and heavy tank cover. So I now just decide to poke out my absolutely wonderful looking tank with its amazing 3D style. And we are spotting a 1-to-1B, which is clearly not the same tank. It is clearly inferior to us because we are about to spend 20 million credits on this tank. And as you can see, the Prosciutto agreed. He just surrendered 1900 hit points to us as spot damage and 1900 damage to the FV. Because let's be honest, a tank which can one-shot same tiered tanks is kind of busted at any game. And I really don't like this idea. So yeah, screw FV tanks, seriously. We tried to get 2 shots out on the VC-55, sadly didn't work out, so that is, oh well, I guess. However, as you can see with the little stun damage in, it is fine, and I see that the 1-to-1B is not focusing us. So what do? We are loading the juicy heat rounds just to be safe. No JK, we are using intuition to load a hash round because I see that ass. And with 105mm of pen and 480 alpha, we yoink a shot right in. Sadly, it didn't do that much damage, but he's now pushing us. We are loading a heat round, getting a shit in, yes, and a shot in, and we apparently also damaged his fuel tank because it tends to do that in the front because it's straight beside the driver. And with that, as you can see, he is almost dead. He got another shot in from the TDs because this map is fun and engaging if you need to push over this side. And he's dead, and as you can see, you have to agree, he was inferior. He is just a plebeian 1-to-1B. Well, I am a Monkey King. I'm the king of monkeys because I did, well, I guess I didn't pay 20 million credits for this tank, even though I have the 1-to-1B, but some might do. So you're truly going to be a king of monkeys. Ooga booga. JK, we did a little dance to just assert our dominance, what apes do as well. They are ooga boogaing and they're showing themselves, they're like, but yeah. We're now looking at the game. The game is already over. You also did quite a lot of damage. 6,400 combined damage with spot and damage itself. We are trying to see if there is a Gorilla 15, but I can assure you we are just going to cut a little bit forward because sadly enough the Gorilla 15 is not camping where he was last spotted. Good for him to have a keyboard. But yeah, we see the already right there. Sadly, because I had hash loaded, it is very slow. We miss it. I tried to shot the Prosciutto, but the Prosciutto went into Cavero. And now we are just pushing down. Hey, come on, guys. We still have so much hit points left. Why not use them? Why not abuse them? We still have a heat round loaded because I wasn't sure about the E3s over there. And now we're pushing down, still not spotted, still not spotted. Now we spotted artillery, trying to aim in, hit, and bonk, he is a gunner. Here we make a little mistake. I should have just shot, because now I'm reloading, even though it takes 1 second, sometimes it's 1 second is all you need to win or lose a game. Obviously in this direction or this case it wasn't an issue. We did hit another shot, so it was a non-issue, but again, we still should have been doing that. We're missing right here because of the wacky gun depression. Finally, we are getting punished for our sins we have done of wasting 20 million credits. And we are bouncing off the Progetto. I still don't believe the Progetto should get a nerf to its gun handling. It is ridiculous. The armor is fine, I guess, the nerf to the armor, but why the gun handling? The gun handling, he didn't deserve that. We finish off the Guerrilla 15, while our Guerrilla 15 is finishing off the Progetto. And now we are just moving over to try and kill the Manticore or the Mighty Core and the last remaining artillery piece. And now, as we are heading towards the end of the video, let me know in the comment section below which other tank you want to have covered like this. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I guess we are going to see what is coming up next in the other auction days. I am honestly not really looking forward to, because this is a weak start. It is a copy-paste tank with a very ugly skin, which again, luckily you didn't see. We're just pushing in, seeing Artie, doing one shot, raising our PP, as Skill would say, finishing him off with a ram, and we're going to be called a moron, and fuck you. Cheers.